The definitive biography of Saint Arborius of Glossopdale and his thin dog, episode 6, Saint Arborius and the curing of the leper. Trees tend to lose their extremities only when autumn deepens into winter. Lepers, in contrast, tend to lose their extremities in all seasons. People who see this as the only significant difference between lepers and trees are apt to confuse the two categories during the later months of the year. A little tuition can improve their capacity to discriminate, though not in all cases. Midwinter was approaching, and snow lay thick, particularly on the ground, when Brother Dumbo looked out of the monastery gate and remarked, "Tree." "That makes a change," said Brother Peregrinator. Brother Eruditio stared in the direction by Brother indicated by Brother Dumbo's pudgy big finger, and shook his head sadly. He reflected that the snow wasn't the only thing that lay thick around these parts. "No, Brother Dumbo," he explained kindly, "not a tree. A tree doesn't sit on a sledge pulled by a sorry nag. A tree doesn't carry its few pathetic belongings around in a sack. A tree doesn't wear a bell around its neck to warn you it's not a tree. That is not a tree. It's a leper." "Leper!" shrieked Brother Bestial. "For the Archangel Gabriel's sake, don't let it in here. We'll all catch splinters. I mean leprosy." "Dead right," said Brother Peregrinator. "I've seen plenty of leprosy in my time." Whether the subsequent events would have unfolded differently had Brother Arborius been present, no one can say, but Brother Arborius was out of the monastery performing his holy duty of walking the thin dog. In his absence, the other monks armed themselves with sticks, stones, and rotten fruit, and stood guard at the monastery gate. The leper's nag pulled the sledge to within 20 yards of the portal and then stopped, exhausted and looking sorry. The leper saw the monks awaiting him, rose to his stumps, and began to beg for shelter and a little food. He offered the contents of his old sack in exchange. "Sod off," replied Brother Peregrinator. "You're a leper. What do you think this is? Season of goodwill or something?" "Please," begged the leper, urging the sorry nag a step or two closer to the monastery. A flung stone elicited a high, jingling C-sharp from the leper's bell. A mouldy peach exploded percussively on the sledge. A stick from the monastic log pile skated along the sorry nag's rib cage with a xylophone-like glissando. "Go on, get out of it, go away, bugger off," caroled the monks, continuing to hurl missiles. By and by, nag, sledge, leper, and sack did an about turn and jingled sadly away again, leaving 3/4 of a finger and a portion of nose in the snow. The monks rested from their labours and nodded to one another like monks satisfied with a job well done. "Ow, what fun!" rejoiced Brother Bestial. "I wondered what he had in that sack on his one-horse open sleigh, and whether it was worth anything." "Free gone away," said Brother Dumbo. "Yes, Brother Dumbo," sighed Brother Eruditio. "Free gone away." Not far from the monastery gate, the hick doctor, bearing a bucket containing his newly devised cure for all known diseases, a cure compounded mostly of camel dung, lavender, and funny mushrooms, saw the leper approaching and scarpered into the forest as fast as his legs could carry him. He didn't want to catch splinters either. It was a crisp, clear day, and Brother Arborius was happy, though by no means warm. The thin dog had pursued a variety of scents at high speed, complaining all the while that her asshole had omitted to bring the fire with him or to equip her with a sufficiently warm woolly jacket. It was evident that she was happy too. When daylight began to fade, they turned their steps back towards the monastery. En route, they heard a distant jingling, and soon afterwards they encountered nag, sledge, sack, leper, and bell, heading in their direction. "Nice day for sledging," thought Brother Arborius. "Indeed, a season to be jolly." "Seen it all now," growled the thin dog. An asshole with bits missing. It is not a nice day for sledging and being jolly. It's a cold and hungry day for sledging and being jolly, moaned the leper. I went to the monastery to seek food and shelter, but the monks threw sticks and stones and mouldy fruit at me and wouldn't let me in. There's nowhere else for me to go. I shall die of cold and hunger out here, and my sorry nag's rib cage needs tuning. Complaining asshole as well, said the thin dog. Do you ever hear me bloody complaining? Well, it's bad form on the part of my brothers to drive you away, said Brother Arborius. I am sure Aidan and Bet wouldn't mind you staying in the hotel building, as long as you promise to clear up all the bits that drop off you before you leave again. No good, wept the leper. They won't let me in. Brother Arborius pondered the problem. The thin dog offered a few suggestions, but none of them seemed to afford a viable solution, still less a charitable one. At length an idea occurred to Brother Arborius. Tell you what, he ventured. Aidan and Bet locks the place up after Vespers to protect the premises from evil spirits and Saxons and insurance salesmen. Then everybody goes to bed. With the snow lying so deep and crisp and even, there's hardly any visible wall to climb, and the drifts go right up to the eaves. If you were to put a new set of radial horseshoes on your sorry nag, it would probably be able to pull you up to the roof. Then there's an easy way for you to get indoors, the chimney. If you can dodge the fire, you'll be in a dry, sheltered place for the night, and I'll try to leave some food out for you as well. Smart idea, approved the thin dog. As much food as you can. The asshole with bits missing must be hungry. God bless you, brother, sobbed the leper. Your kindness is greater than any I have encountered. I shall try to do as you advise. Brother Arborius remembered to leave food on the refectory table after the evening meal was finished, but he was not disposed to wait up for the leper. He retired to the dormitory immediately after Vespers, and, exhausted by the day's fresh air and dog-walking exercise, he fell quickly asleep. The oak logs in the refectory hearth glowed steadily and cheerfully, notwithstanding the glowering admonitions of the thin dog, who was curled up on a nice, soft wolfskin rug beside them, to glow more vigorously. Smoke ascended the chimney in a steady stream. In due course the thin dog, having devoured all the food that Brother Arborius had left out for the leper, dozed off. Around midnight there came a sound from somewhere above the roof, of a subdued sound of hoofs with radial treads, a labouring sledge, and a jingling bell. But no one in the monastery awoke. The leper struggled from the sledge and slid into the chimney, accompanied by his old sack of pathetic belongings. His descent was slow, and being accompanied by the detachment of various deciduous digits, by a fusillade of coughing and choking occasioned by the oak smoke, it awoke the thin dog. The thin dog looked up the chimney and snarled at the intruder. The leper promptly stopped descending, but discovered that he was unable to climb back up again to the relative safety of cold and starvation. He no longer had enough fingers and toes. He was left in a difficult position. He couldn't go up, and because of the displeasure of the thin dog beside the hearth, he most certainly couldn't go down. When the monks re-entered the refectory after prime the following morning, it was full of smoke. Either the veil of the temple has been rent in twain again, coughed Aidan and Bet, or the bloody chimney's blocked. Have you been hiding purchases from foreign peddlers up the chimney, Brother Bestial? Me, boss? Would I do a thing like that? Oh dear, muttered Brother Arborius, putting two and two together and obtaining the right answer. I think there might be a leper in the chimney. Just a guess, of course. He was proved to be right. This was taken to be further indication of Brother Arborius's miraculous insight. Moreover, it transpired that as a result of several hours' exposure to oak smoke, the leper was well and truly cured. Miraculous indeed. Tree, said Brother Dumbo. There was no sign of the sledge or the sorry nag which had been commandeered by another leper. But as soon as the monks had disposed of the cured leper, they recovered his old sack of pathetic belongings. It was smoky but intact. With his customary charity, Aden Abet distributed the contents of the old sack among the monks, giving them a pathetic belonging each. Thank you, intoned each monk as he received his pathetic belonging. Just what I've always wanted. Any miraculous event in the life of a saint can be expected to give rise to a continuing popular tradition. It is no accident, therefore, that we have come to associate episodes of Christian charity during Christmastide with deep snow, a journey on a one-horse open sleigh with a jingling bell, arrival on the rooftop, and descent of the chimney with a sack, and the distribution of useless gifts, or that these diverse elements are erroneously coupled with references to trees. It is strange indeed that the saint whose kindness to a wandering leper generated this unlikely concatenation of symbols should be so nearly forgotten.